Hi guys, thank you so much for joining. There's like so much of you. There's like 50 people. My name is Lana. I'm currently a gap semester student from Rice University, and I'm living in a hacker house at Harvard and MIT. It's called Harvard Street Commons. And essentially, this summer, I built and sold a property management platform to a small landlord in New York City. Despite like learning how to code around 4 months ago. So just feel free to start whenever. Yeah. Okay. um, Sorry for not preparing any slides. I wasn't too sure what the format was, but I hope that I can just like talk and like be useful in some way. And then at the end, I can answer questions of like if anyone has any like startup ideas that they want to pursue or they're interested in selling their own app. I can try and like answer questions around that. So in a typical fashion, I spent a lot of sophomore year at Rice, kind of trying to like recruit for most like of the traditional roles, like trying to get a corporate job. And around April, I got like an offer from like a corporate office, and I was like, okay, like what now? And I'm still trying to decide whether or not I want to like go and take that offer this summer. But I basically had around like 2 months ish where I just didn't really know what I was doing. And I was like, okay, let me learn how to code. And so I like kind of pulled up a lot of YouTube videos and use ChatGPT a lot to like kind of ask like explain this infrastructure to me, like explain why like the system design is the way it is, like why does this flow together, like teach me how to connect, front end, back end, like teach me how databases work. And that's kind of like very bootstrapped. Like I learned everything like that on my own. And basically while I was doing that, I was like, okay, I really want to like get involved within startups and like see if I can try and like get involved with the real world and see if I can like sell and like make something that someone else wants. And I had a background in real estate. I did a couple internships with some real estate firms, and I was like, okay, like real estate is probably the way to like start off with. And so I reached out to some of like the landlords that I kind of already knew, and just started getting coffee with them. I got a lot of like lunches, and I was like, hey, come to me, like like every single problem that you have within your workflow, right? I was like, I really want to help you, and I'm learning how to code, and I would like to like make a tool for you. And so like basically they would sit down and they would just tell me, like they would yap to me like, oh, I have all these problems with like leases, people are not paying rent on time, all my accounting team is like so messy. And I would take all these notes down on like a notepad, and I was like, okay, how can I fix the problem for them? And basically, every single week, I would come back every week with like a new prototype, a little different design, and say like, oh, is this good enough for you? Like, does this work for you? Is this like design intuitive? And essentially, at the end of the summer, around August or so, one of my early users, he owns like a couple apartment buildings in Brooklyn, around like 6 or 7, and he was looking to kind of expand into Manhattan, like especially the Lower East Side, and was looking to kind of like basically. Sorry, I'm like so new to Discord, so this is like so funny to me. If anything, I want to see if I can take like a screenshot. This is really cool. Um. Okay. Wait. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm like very new to this, and I'm like so excited when Michelle capture. Okay. I'm gonna go back. Um. Yeah, so basically he was like, "Hey, we've already worked together for a while and I'm looking to expand my like portfolio. And so since we've already like done it and a lot of design has been like very personalized towards me, can I just like buy the whole thing out from you?" And I was like, absolutely. I was working alone at the time, and I kind of didn't really see myself like raising any venture capital. It was kind of like a lightweight project. It was built on like all the basic ingredients like React, Firebase. Like it was not anything super technical. I didn't add any AI to it. And so yeah, I was very surprised when he came forward to say that, and we like kind of worked together for most of September this month. And I like officially transferred all like the intellectual property and what's it called, like all the code base over to him. So he now like owns like pretty much everything. But I still keep in touch with him, and he's actually now currently buying something on the West Village, which is really exciting. And so yeah, that's kind of my whole story. It was like a whole like 4 to 5 month process, like 4 months to kind of build and get some users on the app, and then 1 month to kind of just like do a lot of the offboarding. It wasn't a very big like legal battle or anything like that. It was just like a very small deal. So I just hired, or I got like a very startup lawyer that like specializes in like small niche things, and he was like someone recommended by the tech community. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll like go with him. And so yeah, it was like a kind of like a 1 month cycle, which is pretty short. Like if you have an enterprise like software, it usually takes around like 6 months or more to kind of like get the whole like deal done. But yeah, that's kind of the story. Sorry I didn't have slides or anything like that. It's very it was very informal, but if anybody has questions in the chat, I can just kind of like answer each one and I'll get to it, especially if you have like an idea that you want to pursue or you're curious about like how you can sell that. I'm very happy to answer any questions. How does one overcome the anxiety of asking for these meetings or feeling annoying to them? Okay, this is actually a really great question. So, I think a lot of us like really underestimate the privilege of being young. Like if you're a student, and you have like an EDU email, you can do so much. There's so much to you because a lot of like older people are very very happy to talk to young people and they know that like you're just a student and so a lot of times they're very happy for you. Now this can be a problem because if you're like talking to them and you like kind of want to do like business with them, sometimes they will like take meetings just to like say hi to you but they don't really want to be like your user, which could kind of be a little like counterintuitive because you're like, okay, well, I kind of want to close this guy, but also he just wants to be my friend, which is nothing bad, but it is like a little like not the same. Or you will get more people who just want to like test out and like give you feedback just because you're a college student, but also don't like really want to do business with you. Um, and in terms of the anxiety of asking for those meetings, I think you just have to start. So like, if you have an idea, Valerie, for like let's say literally anything, try reaching out to like 10 people today. Like just email them and like the worst thing that they can do is just like not respond to you. You know what I mean? Like there's like zero chance that you'll get like blacklisted or anything like that. There's actually like no consequence in reaching out. And so one of the best things you can do if you're trying to like serve a customer, I mean at the end of the day like you're just trying to help someone, is to just like get as much information from them as possible and like reach out and like really really like be in their day to day, you know, like build a relationship there. If you wanted to repeat the process, oh my god, there's so many questions. If you wanted to repeat the process, what steps would you take to make it a kind of rinse and repeat formula? Okay, so this is very different. So there's like two types. I would say mine was a micro exit. And if you want to do like a huge B2B SaaS enterprise kind of thing, it's like a very different formula, which I can talk about because my friends are doing that. In terms of what I did, I think absolutely every single person who's like listening to me right now can kind of do that, or like anyone. Basically pick like any industry, pick like any job, right? And ask people working that job like what are your problems that like are really really annoying to you. And maybe ask like around 50 people, like do it like 50 calls or something like that, or like 50 chats, and then you'll kind of get like a understanding of like what their major problems are and especially what's like the most annoying part. And for me with landlords, like what they care about the most is, this is for the hackathon specifically when we have to leave. Sorry, that's not my question. Okay, yeah, if you have like 50 chats, so you're gonna start to see like a pattern of like what the problems are, and you're gonna probably like prioritize those. For the landlords, at least the ones that I worked with, like they really cared about people not paying rent on time, which makes a lot of sense, right? Because that means that they're losing on like thousands and thousands of dollars. And so that was the main problem that I kind of focused on. And so rinse and repeat, basically talk to like 50 people, stay in contact with like 10 to 20 and get really close relationships with all of them, and then make sure that what you're building is like what they actually want and get like feedback as often as possible. So that's probably the rinse and repeat. Do you recommend anything for when prototyping? Were there any difficulties related to showcasing? So when I recommend to prototyping, I would say try not to come to them with like a half-assed prototype. So I think right now, like it's very, very easy to whip up something using like Cursor, or like I don't think anybody uses Lovable or Replit anymore. But like I don't know, let's say you're like Claude Code or Cursor. It's very easy to like whip something up now. And I guess most of the older generation doesn't like understand AI design and like doesn't know that it's AI, but I will say like when you're showing them a prototype, you want it to be as like functional and like good as possible, because then they're going to start to kind of get an idea of like what you're capable of or what type of work product that you have. And then if it's like not good the first time you show them, they're just going to be less like engaged, versus if you try and tackle one problem at a time and like really show them that you like have a functional prototype, they'll be more encouraged to like see you again and be like, oh, like wait, this is actually someone that's like pretty capable and I would want to work with. Were there any difficulties related to showcasing? Yes and no. So I would say yes when I used to meet them in cafes, and like sometimes cafes didn't have Wi-Fi, so I would pull up the prototype. Like when it was, there's always like a local prototype on my computer, but then also there was like ones deployed, on the actual web, and like that was a little awkward sometimes when I just didn't have Wi-Fi and it was like already on the website and I was like trying to log in and do all the authentication stuff and I couldn't like get any of that data. But otherwise, I would say if you're doing like virtual meetings, the prototype shouldn't to be too hard. It's just like screen sharing and stuff. Hi, I want to ask when you provided the prototypes where the Figma design, UX, UI stuff. Um, in terms of prototypes, I think I kind of skipped the mock-up phase. Like I did most of the mock-ups myself, but I didn't really show them like, hey, this is what I made in Figma. Like these are all like the UX UI mockups. Like, do you like these? I think they're like a little too busy for that. And so whenever I had like lunches with them, I made sure like I was not wasting their time. I was like, here's the prototype. Like this is like the design and whatnot. I didn't really like show them a lot of the Figma prototypes. And if I did, like one of the flaws is I didn't really like ask, I think, enough people about design, but they didn't really care about it looking too pretty. So I will say like yes, like mockups are a crucial part. Go definitely like think about it, plan about it in like Miro or Figma and like really understand the workflow. But I didn't really show them any like mockups. Applying to jobs taught me to not make it a big deal when they forget to reply. No, literally, absolutely. Kind of like everyone's comment. This is really sweet. Like I've never done this before. The biggest thing I struggle with is choosing who I partner with when building my app. Yes, absolutely. So I didn't work with anyone this summer. Like I was kind of by myself. And the reason for that is I was like low key a little ashamed of like how like little I knew because I was a beginner, right? And so every time I like had to learn a new like framework or like a new language or like, I like didn't understand how to like do databases for like the longest time, right? And so I was like really scared to get a partner to work with because I was like, okay, like they're gonna like, not like me, like they're not gonna want to work with me. And so I did it all by myself. But I will absolutely say like if you guys, I'm sure like most of y'all have more technical skills than I do, and so if you already have that, like definitely just choose someone you're very comfortable being with, and someone you're very comfortable like showing your mistakes to, because I think that's the main thing. I'm like working with someone now, and I'm very very like comfortable in showing them that I like don't know everything. This is for starting a startup. Okay, very nice. I'm gonna just like this, and then also like this. How do you think of ideas for projects that would be used by others, like fields and topics, and then specifically what to tackle? How to think of ideas. There's like a million ideas, low key. And I feel like if you commit to just one for like 4 to 6 months, you can get a lot farther than a lot of people. And I think for me, I just thought about like what I already had experience in. So I already had connections within real estate, not like crazy connections. They were like internships, right? Where like I applied through a portal like a normal person and I got internships at real estate funds and I was like, okay, well, I should probably use that. So I did real estate first. And there's like a lot of problems within real estate, but I just picked like the easiest problem, like genuinely the easiest problem within real estate, which is just leases and rent. Um, so in terms of fields and topics, like if you're already studying something, if I don't know, your mom works somewhere or your friends work somewhere or like whatever is just like close by, there's probably a lot, maybe it's like the business is right next door. If you live right next to like, I'm not gonna say coffee shop because you probably shouldn't sell to coffee shops, but like let's say you live next to like a legal firm, I don't know, right? And that's like one place to start. Is there any rubric you followed when it came to pricing? Did you charge by features or how did you go about all of this? Okay, so pricing, yeah. I will say if anyone's thinking about a property management model and like recreating what I did, it's probably not the most profitable one because I would essentially charge per door. So what I did is I just looked at like other competitors, which is like Buildium and RealPage. Those two are like competitors within the prop tech space, and they basically charge per door. And so I charge basically $10 a door, which is like not that much to be honest. So it'd be like $10 a month for each door. And so let's say each landlord has like 20 doors for building, and let's say they have like 5 buildings. So that would be like it'd be like 1,000 for them each month, right? And that's okay. I don't know if I did the math right for that, but like that's okay. But it's also like not what VCs like. If you want to raise VC funding, it's not like that good. basically. And like if you're selling to smaller landlords, right, and they only have one building, um, it's like not the most profitable model if you're charging per door, especially because if you're competing with the other ones, it's like they charge a lot less, you know. And I was just very lucky to like kind of be in that weird niche within New York City. Very confused because my friends are not really good at tech, but trustworthy, so I was confused if I should work with them or not. If they're interested in like actually helping you with the dev, then yeah, because I think it's very easy to learn nowadays. We're also partnered up with Klein CLEI. Okay, very nice. Ask them questions about your stuff, and they can be good testers. Very good. Okay, wow, there's a lot of questions. um, Yeah. Okay, we have like 10 minutes left. How did you manage to code the final app by yourself? I feel like I answered a lot of this already. I will say like I didn't have any agents, right? Like I didn't run any like agents or like AI stuff in there, right? Like that's a lot of stuff that's going on these days and like that takes a lot more like credits. Um and that might be a little more complicated to like whip up. I didn't do any of that. Mine was very much like lightweight like React and Firebase, right? And like those are, like the most like basic like beginner things to use. And so literally like that's kind of how I did it. And in terms of like how I learned everything, I will say like there's insane amount of tutorials, and also if you want to look through people's GitHub repos and see how like they kind of structured it, that might be a good place to start as a beginner. But like I am in no way like a senior software dev at all. And so I think if you start trying to build it and you ask questions while you're doing it and you make sure to have documentation, like as long as you make sure you have documentation and like every like if you decide to use AI for your dev, just make sure the AI like documents exactly what it's doing and why it's doing it. You should come back and do more workshops. Sorry, I'll make like a little slide next time. I was a little like didn't know how to do this, but I really appreciate the fact that there's like 49 people like listening to it. True, you don't have partners to create a startup. Some key points. Can you tell us what's tech stack? I kind of touched on this already. But yeah, I think like when I was in the very early stages and like just doing design, I didn't know that you like start off with backend first. So I literally started off with like HTML, which is like so embarrassing because I feel like the first landlord I talked to, I like pulled up like this like HTML page and they didn't really know what was going on either. So I was just like, oh, this is like how it looks like. But then I got like the backend going and stuff. But I will say in terms of tech stack, like whatever you're most familiar with is fine. Like if you're doing yeah, like whatever's most familiar with is your fine is like what you should use, especially like I think the main thing is like as long as you're serving someone else's needs, like I think my advice is more so catered towards like sales versus like software dev. I'm definitely not like the best person to ask, but yeah, I just use like React and Firebase. The best idea is creating a solution to an existing problem. Yeah, yeah, I will say so. I think it's very easy too because if you do small businesses, you don't need to have that many. Like I had around like 8 landlords on my platform, and that was already like 8K a month ish, which is like kind of good. Yeah, but if you do like consumer and you like charge each person like $10, it's gonna be like very hard because you have to build like a massive base. Why not sell to coffee shops? You can. I just don't think coffee shops have that much money, and most coffee shops are passion projects. But you can. You can make like a payment processor, or like maybe I don't know. I don't really know how that works. Like food. Um, what is charging a door? So I feel like I'm super late with these, and we have like 5 minutes left. Okay, charging per door is like if you have like units basically in an apartment. So like if each apartment has like 20, 50 units, like it would be per door. Was LinkedIn helpful for you? Yes, I would say LinkedIn's like usually pretty helpful. Uh, Actually, I guess it was pretty helpful because I'd use it to like reach out to people. But also a lot of the people I talked to was also like warm leads, right? So like I think I did some cold outreach, but a lot of like the people that were like really interested were people that were recommended to me by other people. So I started off with like 2 landlords, and then they had friends and they were like, hey, like talk to them. And then I was like, okay. And so that's how I got like most people that by the way, when I say 8 landlords on my platform, it was like 8 paying landlords. The rest of them, like I had a lot of people that like looked at it and were like testing out, but like didn't actually want to pay. Sorry, she's like back. Hi, Michelle. I like can't hear you, but it's okay. Take your time answering. You have the entire hour. Okay, Loki, I don't know if I can talk for an hour. Because I feel very unprepared. So I'm gonna just go until like 2:35, 2:30-ish. I'll just go until there's like questions. Should one also like be asking, let's say when I get food somewhere and they don't have a website, like we can both benefit from a website. They can get a simple, intuitive website with menu online and stuff, and I can get monies or free food or PAL. Okay. Should I ask them if they would like a website while waiting for food to be prepared? Sure. I'm like a huge advocate of like if you have an idea, just go for it. Like just do it. TBH. And if you want to like do that, that sounds super fun. I've never done that before. It sounds like kind of scary. But if like the restaurant's not that busy or if it's like a kind of casual place, I'm sure they wouldn't mind you asking. Especially if you're a student, it'd be like very, very likely. Especially if you only ask for free food. Like usually it would cost like thousands of dollars. So if you only ask for free food, like they say yes. I will say maybe ask for money as well, but it depends on how high quality your website is. I've heard people doing this getting results. Maybe it's better to try to find their email from their work. You can do either. I think you can reach out or you can also go in person. I think if you do online, you can like mass send it, but in person, it's like you can actually build the connections better. Basic info. There's a lot of kebab places. Yes. Oh, they're so nice. I'll make slides next time. Boy, thank you for answering. No, this is great information. I found LinkedIn helpful. Free food is secret tax item. Okay. So I have like 3 minutes left. Can take like a couple more questions, but I think that's about it. I guess like the main thing is you don't really need to like know that much, I think, to get started. I think it's different because I didn't do enterprise, and if you're selling to like enterprise, you really need to have something that's like, proprietary software, really, really good. And that's something I'm looking to like do in the future. I'm kind of like new to this space. I feel 1.1% smarter. Very nice. Or 101. Okay. I guess I still have 3 minutes. Wow. Okay, imagine we made our app. What do you think is the most effective way to reach your audience and make them aware of your app? Uh, Depends on if you're doing enterprise or if you're doing small business, small to medium sized businesses, or if you're doing consumer. If you're doing consumer, you're gonna have to probably use like social media, or like a lot of advertisements, and like really understand viral marketing, so you can make like the most of your budget. And if you're doing small to medium sized businesses, then I think those like connections with them are very, very important. And like you don't have to do any marketing or like social media for small to medium sized businesses unless you want to. And then for enterprise, you definitely don't need to do any marketing or social media because it's actually just more about having good software and actually having an in with the company. I have never closed an enterprise deal. If I did that, I think I'd be balling, like actually balling. uh, but I haven't done that yet. If anyone wants to do that, let me know, and then I can work for your company if you IPO. Okay, I guess last question. So what comes next? Are you learning more or building other projects? What did you do after selling your app? Yeah, so currently I live in a hacker house. I guess right now it's like enough money where I've been able to kind of put towards a lot of things that I've been like wanting to do, like travel and whatnot. I haven't like really used that much of it yet. I think like a lot of my friends that have like made money through a similar like contract based thing have started putting money towards like developing like robotics or something or manufacturing, which takes a lot more money. I think I haven't really touched most of mine yet, besides like traveling a lot more. I've been like putting a lot more effort into like getting involved with like the social scene and stuff like that. um I've definitely put some more money into like educational things, but I haven't really touched a lot of it. I would say I put a lot of it into like my Roth, and then like some of it into like my Fidelity stocks. But it might not be the smartest thing. I think some people have told me like there's a lot more you can do with it. Like if I want to start prototyping again and stuff. Okay, Hacker House sounds cool. Yeah. Okay, that's about it. I guess this is a shameless plug as well. If anyone's in Texas, in Houston, I'm starting a Hacker House for Rice University, and so if you're in Houston, I'm happy to read your application. Let me know that you're part of this. That would be like super cool. Okay, wait, you're in Houston. That's crazy. So yeah, or Dallas. That works. Okay, actually, I can't believe there's that many Texas. If you are in Texas, and you would like to live in a hacker house by Rice University, whether you're a high school student or you're a college student, yeah, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, all of them work, by the way. If you want to live in a hacker house, we have a summer cohort upcoming, and then also spring and summer. And if you submit an application and then in the comment section, just write like, oh, I was part of the hackathon webinar or whatever, let me know. And I'll be happy to get on a call with you. Ooh, do I keep answering these questions or okay? You go, I'm still learning and have. Do you need to have a lot of experience beforehand? No. I'm like the prime example of I don't have experience beforehand. And just do it. Like I don't know. I feel like things are possible. It's like super corny, but whatever. What do you mean by hacker house? It basically is just like a living situation where you can all like live together and like kind of just like support each other on your goals. I used to be like very tech dominated, but now there are people that are doing consumer and content as well. Okay. I think I'm done. Thank you so much.